Hi, Gary Stearman. Welcome to Prophecy Watchers. Today I've got a very special treat for you. A couple of guests in studio, a couple of people you should get to know. On my left at the far end of the table over there, David Schnittger. Hi, David.
Hi, great to be with you.
And to his right is Carol Rushton. Carol, welcome to Prophecy Watchers.
It's great to be here.
Now, you two have got a great story to tell about a brand new ministry that you're starting up. We really value the opportunity to introduce you to our viewing audience. David, tell us what you're doing, what your plan is, where you're going. I know, having talked with you before, that you're really excited about what you're doing.
Yes, we are, Gary. September the 1st, we launched a brand new ministry called Southwest Prophecy Ministries.
Mm-hmm.
Southwest Prophecy Ministries, as the name implies, will be dealing primarily with Bible prophecy. We believe that we are in the last days, that there are a lot of things going on in our world today, and we want to be one of the truth tellers to talk about what's going on in our world today.
When you say truth tellers, that tripped a little switch inside my head there, because you preach Bible prophecy. You've got a long history of preaching, teaching, and writing about Bible prophecy. And I, having spoken with David, I know that he believes what I do about the teaching of Bible prophecy, namely that it's not a hit or miss game. There is a basis for systematic Bible prophecy teaching, and you and I both know that people are sort of going out of bounds today, naming dates, making extravagant claims, etc. And I know you don't believe in that sort of thing.
No, I don't. I believe that the Bible is intended to enlighten and not confuse. And as Peter said, we have a more sure word of prophecy. So at our ministry, we want to basically teach the Bible systematically in every area, but especially the most difficult area of understanding, which is eschatology or future events. We believe in a premillennial, pre-tribulational, dispensational approach to Scripture, because I think that does the most to enlighten us as believers as to what God's plan is for the future. So that will be one of the main emphasis of our new ministry.
Carol, I've known you for a while, and it's been my pleasure to talk to you on several occasions. And I should mention right off the bat that you are the daughter of a man who is, I guess, almost a legend in the teaching of Bible prophecy, and that would be Noah Hutchings. And my goodness, talking to you, I can go on and on for hours about the life of Noah Hutchings and your involvement with his ministry. But welcome to Prophecy Watchers. Tell us a little about yourself and your involvement in the new ministry.
Well, I am the Vice President of Social Media. I have a fancy title, but I'm only supervising myself right now. We have a small team. We have a website, swpm.us. We have several features on that website that I think would be of interest to people. We have a frontline section. It's a daily commentary every single day. We have a headline section. I take care of that specifically. Get up very early in the morning, go all around the internet, all around the world, finding the most important headlines to keep Christians and others informed. That have to do with Bible prophecy and liberty issues. A lot of information on the Middle East, on ISIS, on Israel, on Islam. We also have a Facebook page. And I take care of that as well, and posting lots of different things every day, headlines. I keep people updated about what's going on. Sometimes a devotional item, sometimes little politically incorrect videos. You never know what's going to pop up on our Facebook page. So you want to keep informed about that too.
Now, Carol, having been raised under the guidance of Noah Hutchings, you really are no newcomer to the world of Bible prophecy. Noah Hutchings, widely known, author, of course, on the radio for years and years and years. Everybody knows, very distinctive voice, very distinctive way of talking, and a very high-spirited sort of a man who recently passed away at what age?
He was 92.
92, and active right up until almost the very
Almost
last.
the end, yes.
And people, I mean, how many people has he led to Christ? I mean, it's incalculable.
We don't know. Only the Lord knows. We won't know until the end. really, how many lives he's influenced and how many things that he's done. He lived an amazing life. He really did.
He was amazing, all right, a veritable dynamo. And by the way, David, you worked with Noah Hutchings.
Yes.
And actually, how long ago?
About 40 years, Gary. Right out of Bible college, I heard about this ministry called Southwest Radio Church. My pastor said, you ought to go down there and apply for a job.
Yeah.
So in 1975, 40 years ago, I went in and met with Noah Hutchings. Yeah. And he must have been in a good mood because he hired me. And within a brief period of time, I started writing and broadcasting with Southwest Radio Church.
You know, I have to interrupt because, and I tell you this, that many, many years ago, the way I got to know David Schnittger, and he didn't know that I knew him, was by reading a piece on Bible prophecy that he wrote. And it's called The Purposes of Prophecy, if I recall. And I read that, and that really, really kind of summarized and put in perspective my philosophy of teaching Bible prophecy. I was in total agreement with your article. And that's how many years ago?
1979, Gary.
Wow.
I was still a teenager.
A lot has, yes, of course.
Yes.
A lot has happened since 1979.
It has.
We've been through 1988 and 88 Reasons, and we've been through Y2K, and we've been through
2012.
2000.
We survived that.
We did. We've survived a lot of claims and counterclaims in the world of Bible prophecy, and we're just forging ahead with the fundamental, premillennial, pre-tribulational, dispensational way of teaching Bible prophecy. Now, you're going to put together radio, 30-minute radio segments,
Yes.
And those are going to be out there in the future. Tell us about that.
Well, it's our desire, Gary, to get back on radio as soon as possible. That's my background. That's Carol's background.
Right.
That's what we know. That's what we're used to. So we're hoping within a very short period of time, in the Lord's will, to be back on radio 5 days a week, 30-minute program, dealing with prophecy, dealing with current events. That's our DNA, and that's what we hope to do very shortly.
You've been doing it a long time.
We
both
have.
of you. And, you know, let's reminisce a little bit about your dad. I just can't, since you're here, I can't let that drop. He was a very special guy. I mean, a lot of people knew, he had a very unique voice, for one thing. I mean, you could just flip the radio on and you knew that was Noah Hutchings instantly. Yeah. But you tell me he's a very prolific writer as well. He would just write constantly. He would write daily program lessons or program plans on his old Royal typewriter.
Yes, he had a 1950s era manual typewriter. He would bring it home in the evenings, sometimes on the weekends. That's how I actually started with Southwest Radio, was I would read my dad's scripts, and starting in junior high. And I would read them, and they were just fascinating to me because I always learned stuff about Bible prophecy or world events that I didn't know before. And I would, as I was reading, I would think, oh, well, this needs to be changed, or this would sound a little bit better. And I would hand it back to my dad and say, well, Dad, this was really great, but you know, you had a few things that need to be corrected, so here. And he would look at me as if this little girl is telling me how to write. So but it was great.
Now but you yourself have had an interesting life. You spent a lot of years in Israel. And
yes.
you became familiar with the customs, the language, you know some Hebrew, and probably were almost fluent in Hebrew at one point when you were over there, right?
I was getting close. I would never say that I was fluent. Hebrew is a very difficult language.
But it is. But that's going to help you in kind of sort through the Jewish culture. In fact, you know, you and I both know that Israel is the center of all Bible prophecy.
Absolutely.
So you're going to bring that perspective
yes.
to the new ministry.
Yes, Israel is the most important thing right now in Bible prophecy. Everything centers around Israel. Everything revolves around Israel and the Temple Mount. Very, very important. As Israel is preparing to rebuild the temple, we can see everything laying the groundwork for that. What's going on in the region with Russia, ISIS, Islam, Syria, Iran, and our own government. So these are things that I think that are vital importance to Bible-believing Christians right now.
Now, there's another side to what you're going to be doing. You're going to be talking about prophecy, David, but you're also going to be talking about liberty issues.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we believe, as I'm sure you do, Gary, that as we get closer to the tribulation, and we know, of course, the outline of what God has revealed in His Word, that there's going to be a system, what I call the Antichrist system, that will come to a short fruition during the tribulation, where we're going to have a one-world government, consolidation of nations into regions, and regions into a one-world government, a one-world economy, and a one-world religion, that the Bible refers to as Babylon. So we can expect in these last days of the church age to see movement in that direction. And we want to trace that movement.
Sure.
We don't believe that we're going to bring in the kingdom as the church, so we're not into Reconstructionism. But we want to at least trace the hand of the enemy, so to speak,
Right.
in terms of the advancing tyranny, the moves in the direction of one world government, a one world casteless society, and a one world religion. And as you know, Gary, there is an awful lot of things to trace. There is a lot of development going on in each of those areas. So we want to combine our focus on Bible prophecy with current day events that lend support to the literal fulfillment of Bible prophecy.
Yeah, and I know that you believe, as I do, that we're not going to go through the tribulation.
Absolutely.
Not even a little bit of the tribulation.
Nope.
And we are pre-tribulational. And that's important because we're basically not telling Christians to prepare for some dark event, although, we may go through some tough times. But certainly we're not going to go through the period of God's judgment. Our job basically is to quicken our efforts with the gospel, spreading of the gospel, and I believe that prophecy and the gospel just go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
And I know you do because I've read your original writing from years ago, The Purposes of Prophecy. One of the main purposes of prophecy teaching is to preach the gospel.
Right, absolutely. Whether it's the Old Testament prophets or Jesus himself, basically the focus is on that we need to flee from the wrath to come, that there is coming a time of worldwide judgment upon the earth, and there's no way out but up.
Right.
As our friend L.A. Marzulli has coined, there's no way out but up.
Right.
So it is a message of the gospel that this world is spiraling downward, that Satan and his folks are consolidating, that world history is going in a very bad direction, and there's only one way of escape, and that's through faith in Jesus Christ. So you're right, prophecy and evangelism should go hand in hand when done correctly.
Now, you are going to have a partner in your new enterprise as well, and his name has not been mentioned yet.
Yes, the third partner in our partnership is Doc Marquis. Now, Doc is no stranger to Prophecy Watchers.
That's true.
And Doc Marquis has a very unusual background. He was raised in an Illuminati family, and then at the age of 20, he was saved through faith in Jesus Christ and has devoted then the last 36 years of his life to exposing the secrets of the Illuminati. He's an experienced filmmaker. I think he has 14 or 15 films dealing with various aspects of what we would call the conspiracy. And so that is his forte. He is a great researcher, a great filmmaker. He has been on over 1,000 radio programs. And it was actually Doc Marquis that first contacted Carol and I and said that he believed that God wanted us to start a new ministry. And of course, we thought that Doc was crazy. But he said that he had a vision from God that God wanted to restore the kind of ministry that Noah Hutchings had at Southwest Radio Church for 64 years.
Yeah.
Well, I challenged Doc at that point in time, and I said, well, Doc, are you going to be part of this new enterprise? And he said, well, I'm not sure what part I should have. And I said, well, I'd like you to be the vice president in charge of programming. So I made a place at the table, and so Doc, even though he still lives in Nebraska, is very much a part of our team, and he will be on the radio on a regular basis, dealing with his area of expertise, which is what we would call conspiracy issues.
And you are listening to David Schnittger and the new ministry, Southwest Prophecy Ministries .us. Remember that. You can kind of keep track of what's going on there. Carol Rushton One more time, Carol is the daughter of Noah Hutchings, and I say that because you literally have grown up in the world of Bible prophecy. Nothing is new to you. You've been familiar with this all your life.
Absolutely. And it's really been amazing to me to go into churches and to find Christians who don't know anything about Bible prophecy. I go to a great church. The pastor talks about Bible prophecy a lot. He's very knowledgeable. Most of the time, I already know everything that he talks about because I learned at the feet of my dad.
Yeah.
Except you challenge me a lot, though.
Well, thank you for saying that. We try to be on the cutting edge here at Prophecy Watchers. And of course, being on the cutting edge, being on the cutting edge involves being with important people. People who are heavy-duty contributors to the world of Bible study. And I would be remiss if I left without bringing up a few names with whom you have been in contact in years past. James Dobson, for example. Before the program today, we talked about Herbert Lockyer. Famous names, we would call them old line names in Bible teaching and Bible exposition. Talk about that a minute.
Well, Southwest Radio Church through the years has launched many national ministries. I'll mention a few. Carol can probably remind me of some others, but Theodore Epp with a Through the Bible broadcast. He was with Through the Bible for many, many years. He got his start at Southwest Radio Church. Apparently James Dobson got his start with Southwest Radio Church and went on with Focus on the Family to do many great things. Grant Jeffries, a luminary who's now in Bible prophecy, who's gone on to be with the Lord. He published his first books with Southwest Radio Church and was on the broadcast. And so the ministry through the years has given airtime and visibility to many folks through the years that have launched their own ministries and whom God has used in a great way.
I know you want to carry on that tradition wherever possible.
We do. We really do. With a greater urgency as we know that the days are short.
Well, David, I wish you well and blessings in the Lord. One more time, it's swpm.us. That's Southwest Prophecy Ministries.us. Carol Rushton, thanks for being with us today. We could probably talk for another hour about many anecdotes having to do with your dad.
Maybe another time.
Maybe another time. Carol Rushton and David Schnittger, and we wish the blessings of the Lord upon their new ministry. And we thank them for taking a little time to share with you their vision. Guys, what can I say? It's been my pleasure today.
It's been our pleasure as well, Gary.
It's been great. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. And let me just wish you the best. Blessings in the Lord, and keep watching, everybody. We are. Thanks for joining us on Prophecy Watchers. You can find us on the web at prophecywatchers.com, where you can sign up for our free email newsletter, or follow us at facebook.com/prophecywatchers. In the meantime, keep watching, everybody, and we'll see you soon.